Okay folks, welcome to another Friday Waffle. Now I think I said in last week's Friday Waffle I wasn't going to be doing this one because I'm not really at home very much this week. If I look like I'm knackered, it's because I am knackered. We were down in Alton Towers from Tuesday and we came back today. I didn't get home until about 7 o'clock. So I'm pretty knackered and I've got a long drive, an even longer drive tomorrow when I'm going down to the Zap Live event. So anyway, Alton Towers, first time I've ever been to the place. Now I'm not a roller coaster person. I'm not really into that kind of thing. I would go on roller coasters at a push. Things that spin you round and upside down and spin you around in circles, no, not interested. I feel ill. I feel the way some people react to VR. They get that motion sickness, and that's exactly what I get if I go in these things. So I wasn't going down there for myself. There was myself, my girlfriend, she calls her a granddaughter. She's not really a granddaughter, but it's a wee girl that she's known for a long time. She was 10 years old, and my daughter Ava was supposed to be going with us as well. So there was the four of us going to drive down. Now my daughter, for different reasons, decided she didn't want to go, which was fine, you know. There were still going to be three of us going down. So we drove down, we left on Tuesday morning, stayed at Crewe. It was an Airbnb that we were in. Hopefully nobody's watching this that comes from Crewe, but I've got to say that the particular area that I was in, it was a bit of a shithole. I can't really describe it any better. It was a shithole, and I mean we went out at night to kind of just for a walk, and I didn't feel safe. I really didn't. There was a few cars going up and down outside the house, and they must have been, it was a 30 mile an hour limit, and these guys must have been doing 80-90 miles an hour. So we stayed there because, you know, it was a wee bit cheaper. Trying to get a place at Alton Towers is mega expensive. I mean, we still spent a lot of money on this Airbnb, so we stayed there, and then we got up. My girlfriend actually had an interview. And it was yesterday, so she had to get up and do a telephone interview at 10 o'clock, no, 9 o'clock to 10. So that kind of delayed us a wee bit, you know. We're hoping to have kind of left a bit earlier, but drove down to Alton Towers. It was about, it was just under an hour it took us to get down there. I mean, it was fine, the traffic and that was okay. When we got in, I mean, we didn't have to, the queues weren't that big. It took, I don't know, it took maybe 20 minutes to queue to get into the place. And yeah, what are my impressions of Alton Towers? It's okay. One of the problems, I mean, you know, from a sort of like a landscaping point of view, it's very tidy. I've been to Disneyland, Florida. I was there 9 years ago, and I've got to say, Alton Towers, whilst it's not got the weather and what have you, it was very tidy. It did feel very clean, which I wasn't really expecting. So that was nice. The problem I felt with Alton Towers was you had to really plan it in advance as to what ride you wanted to go on. Now we didn't do that. We downloaded the app. It took forever to get the app downloaded, just using mobile, whatever it was, mobile data. But yeah, we spent a lot of time just walking back and forwards between rides, looking at that, right, we'll go in this one. Obviously, there was massive queues as well. I mean, is it Smiler, the roller coaster? We didn't go on any of these big ones. I said, I don't like roller coasters. My girlfriend won't go on them. And the wee girl, she said she wanted to go on them, but when it actually came to it, she was a wee bit nah. So we were there. We got there a bit later because my girlfriend had an interview. We didn't get there until about 12, and we left about 5:30 to come back up the road. And I think collectively we probably went on, I don't know, the wee girl went on about 7 things, and my girlfriend and I, we went on 2 things. So we had about, what, 9, 10 rides. Now it cost, I got them for half price, it cost me, it was 35 quid each, 140 quid. 140 quid we paid for this, and we were on about 10 rides. Is that value for money? Absolutely not. Now, you could get the fast pass, but the fast pass, you've got it for like 1 ride, it's like 8 quid. I think, is it Smiler was £10. So on top of getting the entry to the park, you were then having to pay an extra £10 to basically skip the queue, which we weren't going to do. You know, we spent enough, put it that way. I mean, the rides that we did go on were all right. Like I say, they didn't feel like Blackpool years ago. I felt it was run down, it was quite decrepit, and the rides felt dirty and all that. This did kind of feel like kind of more higher budget. Like I said, it did feel kind of, I wouldn't go as far as to say on a par with Disneyland or Universal Studios, but it did, you know, it was all right. One thing that I really, really wish places like that would do is, regardless of whether you were going to go on anything or not, like I said, my girlfriend, she went on 1 thing, 2 things, I beg your pardon, and I went on 2 things as well. So if we could have got in and not paid anything because we didn't want to go on anything, we would have done that. But regardless of whether you're going to go on a ride or not going to go on a ride, you've still got to pay to get in. So you could be a 90-year-old old age pensioner and you'd still have to pay the full price. You know, the way they see it is, oh yeah, you're getting on the rides, it's free to go on the rides. That's fine, but surely they need to understand that there are going to be families where there's going to be grandparents, there might be people who have got disabilities, there might be people like me who are just a big baby, they don't want to go and stuff like that. So surely they should have the option to go in. You can gain entry to the place, but you can't go on any rides. But no, they don't have that. You've got to pay the same as somebody who wants to go on all the rides. So yeah, I wouldn't go back to Alton Towers. Definitely not. I think if I was really into the only way you could really do it, I think, would be if you're right into, obviously, the roller coasters. You would want to get there mega early. You would also want to pay for the fast passes so that you could get on it. You know, I think that's the only way, because even if you were like quite slick and you planned out what you were wanting to do and you were going to jump from one thing to the other, you could only really get on, I reckon, maybe 10 rides in a day. And when you're spending 70 quid, that's a lot of money. It really, really is. So yeah, we came out about 5:30. There was also a massive long walk. I reckon easily 25 to 30 minutes walk from, you know, the car to the place, and then obviously the same coming back again. Which, you know, I don't know what the solution to that is. I know cars, they're obviously going to get mega busy. Car parks can't be that close. But yeah, I've got to say, my experience at Alton Towers wasn't overly positive. And it's not really a criticism of the place itself. It's more the fact that I didn't want to go on anything, and we didn't plan it particularly well. You know, we were kind of trying to look at the app and say to the wee girl, what one you want to go on, and we're walking from here to here, and then we're going back. So we're kind of doing a lot of doubling back on ourselves. So we didn't really plan it that well, but it sounds like I had a shit time. I didn't have a shit time. It was all right. It was an awful long way to go for that. Like I says, would I go back? Definitely not. Anyway, I'm a grumpy bastard, and I do apologise for last week's waffle. I'm not apologising to the people that I was venting at, but I did get quite heated and very, very angry about a couple of things, which I'm not going to talk about tonight because that's in the past. If you didn't see that waffle, go and watch it. I was just having a rant about a few people. But I'm not I didn't like the fact that I was swearing so much. You know, I do try and keep, although I do swear, I like to try and keep it fairly light-hearted. But every now and again something will come along that just kind of, and that was one of them. So tomorrow I'm going to be leaving the house at 9 o'clock, picking up my mate, and then I'm driving down to one of my mates, and it's a place not far, but I'm not going to tell you where it is because that wouldn't really be fair, but not far from Luton. It's kind of that distance, it's 350 miles, and then we're going to be staying overnight with him and his mum, and then we're going to be driving down to Kenilworth, I think it is. I'm saying driving down. Is it down? Is it up? I'm not too sure. And we're going to the Zap Live event. Now this is the first Zap event that Fusion, it's Chris Wilkins that's running it. I am looking forward to it. There's going to be quite a few sort of famous Commodore 64 people. I think Gary Penn's going to be there, Jeff Minter's going to be there, Andrew Braybrook, Steve Turner, Rob Hubbard, who else? Simon Butler, a few of the kind of Ocean guys are going to be there. John Hare as well, yep. Ocean, bloody hell, listen to me, Sensible Software. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of kind of good, interesting people. There's going to be talks at night and that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to the day thing, and then we're also going to go to the thing at night time. So hopefully, I'm not going to get autographs, but I will try and get a few photographs, and if I get an opportunity, I am going to try and speak very nicely to some of these guys and see if they're interested in coming on the channel. So looking forward to that. I do plan, I'm not going to do a really concise video, but I will take some footage when I'm down, let you see, kind of give you a flavour of what it's about. So that's on the Saturday. I think it finishes at 11 o'clock on the Saturday. Then we're going to go back up the road to my mates, and then on the Sunday morning I've then got a 350 mile drive back up the road. So I'm going to be absolutely knackered. I wish I'd taken Monday off work actually. I'm going to be completely shattered. But anyway, right, I'm going to, I think it is going to be a really short waffle because I wasn't really expecting to do one tonight. Right, let's have a wee look. Hello Alan, some new questions. This is from Golden Gamer 9045. That's my mate Tony. How are you, Tony? Hello Alan, some questions for this week's Friday Waffle. What is your favourite arcade game and why? Oh bloody hell, man. It's a common question I get asked, and I've never been asked for my favourite one, I don't think. It's usually like, name your top 3 or something. I don't know. I'm going to rhyme off a few games that I would say could be it. Rolling Thunder, Galaxian, Berserk, Robotron, and Defender. Even though I'm absolutely garbage at Defender, I'm stupidly hopeless. My favourite arcade game. Oh man, I mean if it's a game that I play the most, I play a lot of R-Type. I do like R-Type. I don't know, it does change. If I get asked this next year, I'd probably pick a different game. I think previously I've always said Galaxian because it's the game that epitomises arcade games for me. I remember seeing a Galaxian arcade machine for the first time, and I could hear the sound, and obviously you've got the lovely kind of coloured graphics with the kind of blinking stars, so that really caught my eye. But if it's a game that I just love playing, it would probably have to be Berserk. But then I also love Robotron 2084. Oh man, I don't know. I can't separate them, Tony. I cannot separate them. I'm going to go for Berserk or Robotron. I can't separate them. Can't do it. Right, number 2. What is your favourite emulation console or game? Right, I assume you mean, when you're saying emulation console or game, I assume you mean what's my favourite console. My favourite console, Well, it's going to have to be the Vectrex, which I have mentioned numerous times. The reason I love the Vectrex so much is because it is utterly unique. It's got a vector screen, which no other system has ever tried to do. It's just, the games look beautiful. It hasn't aged at all. So yeah, my favourite console is going to be the Vectrex, definitely. Yeah, wonderful. Right, your top 3 Sega Mega Drive games and why. Now, I didn't really get into Mega Drive until kind of quite late on, and I never, when I did get it, I never really had that many games for it. Obviously, I've got access to every game now, but what would be my 3 favourite Mega Drive games? One of them, in no particular order, one of them would have to be EA Hockey. I'm not into hockey at all, I don't know anything about the rules, but the original EA Hockey was brilliant. In fact, it wasn't brilliant, it still is brilliant because it's not aged. Really good fun. You need to play it as 2-player. It's got great graphics, great sound, it's just tremendous fun. What else could I pick on the Mega Drive? Not Sonic, nah, nothing like that. Oh man, I've actually quite hard pushed to pick 3 games. One of them I do like, and it's really, really hard, is Battle Squadron. It did also come out for the Commodore Amiga, but I think the Mega Drive one plays slightly nicer. So yeah, I would go for Battle Squadron. Battle Squadron, what was that game I said? EA Hockey. Oh man. Like I said, I don't really play that many Mega Drive games to have favourites. Probably go for something like, I don't know, Streets of Rage 2. Whilst it's not really a game that I would play that much, it's a beautiful looking game. In fact, you know what? Scratch all that. One of my favourite games, definitely, and it's probably the most impressive game that I've got, is Xenocrisis, which was released about 3-4 years ago. It was a brand new game that came out. It takes inspiration from Smash TV, bit of Alien Syndrome type thing. You go into different rooms and you wipe out obviously baddies. It's a great game. It came out about 4 years ago, maybe more than that, maybe less than that, I can't remember exactly. It did get released on the Neo Geo, it got released on the Nintendo Switch I think as well, but I've got it for the Sega Mega Drive, and it is a wonderful game. It is fantastic. Xenocrisis, go and check it out, it is brilliant. So that, EA Hockey, and whatever it was, that other game which I can't remember, Battle Squadron. Yeah, what is your favourite holiday destination and why? Yeah, I know this one. It's a place called Arisaig, which is away up in the west coast of Scotland. You kind of head for Oban, and then it's away right in the coast. It's near a place called Mallaig, which is a kind of fishing town. Now, the reason I like it is because it's stunning. There is nothing there, and that's the appeal of the place. It's like you're the only person left on earth. My auntie used to have a caravan. Sadly, she doesn't have it anymore. The guy that owned the campsite decided to close it down. But her caravan was right on the water, and yeah, you could just step outside the caravan and you had this like private beach. If you've ever seen Local Hero with the beach, it's like that. It's absolutely stunning. So yeah, Arisaig, you can keep your Magaloofs and your Barcelonas and your Floridas. Arisaig every time for me. And lastly, what is your favourite handheld console? I mean, if it was nostalgia point of view, I would probably be saying something like, I don't know, the Game Boy. You know, the Game Boy had some wonderful games. But I think to drag it up to kind of current, where we are now, my favourite handheld would have to be the, what do you call it, the Steam Deck, yeah. And the reason I like the Steam Deck is because it's got wonderful controls, it's got a cracking screen, and it emulates all these old systems perfectly. So if I was going to play the Game Boy, play it on the Steam Deck. If I was going to play the Atari Lynx, play it on the Steam Deck, because the screen's bigger, it's beautiful, the colours are vibrant, it's got great sound, it's got great, it works perfectly. So yeah, my favourite handheld, Tony, would definitely have to be the Steam Deck. So anyway, listen Tony, really nice to hear from you. I know you do drop in some of my live streams from time to time. Really, really nice to see you, man. I always appreciate your support, mate. So you take care, buddy. Okay, right, let's have a look. I don't think there's many questions this this week. Right, here we go. Wee Bob is saying this one, caught this one early, he's talking about last week's Friday Waffle. It's a shame you didn't go to Alton Towers earlier this year, as you would have probably met my boy as he works there. Today's his last day. Unfortunately, he's coming home due to health issues, which I had mentioned a few months ago in Discord. Oh, I hope he's alright, Bob. Anyway, he is okay, that's good. Just need to move forward with some challenges. Anyway, I hope you're well and have a great time there. We love Alton Towers. So yeah, it just goes to show I wasn't dissing Alton Towers, it's just not for me. I think the fact that I don't like roller coasters really doesn't. It'd be like going to a pub and not liking alcohol, and that's, you know. Anyway, question for next week. How many baseball caps do you own and which one is your favourite? My eyes were a bit blinded during the making of this video. I don't have tons of baseball caps, I've got 4. And my favourite one is I think it's actually got a baseball team. It's the one that you see my wee head at the start of the intro. Can't remember what it's called. But yeah, that's definitely my favourite one. It's got a kind of weather-beaten look to it, even though it's not that old. Well, it probably is old actually. It's probably about 10 years old. So yeah, that would be my favourite one. Let's see here, any questions there? Nope. Right, Colin Jones. Question for next waffle. Going out in the rain in this weather, do you need a coat or is it better to just get wet and have less to dry off when you get home? When I used to run, Colin, you know, when you go out to run, when you live in Scotland, it's going to rain. It's part of what we are. It's, you know, we get so much rain in Scotland. And rain doesn't bother me. It certainly didn't bother me going out running in the rain. In fact, it was actually quite refreshing doing that. Obviously, if you're just going for a walk, you don't like getting wet. But yeah, not having any hair like that, it doesn't bother me in the slightest getting wet. So yeah, I mean, especially if it's a nice day, and sometimes you do get warm rain, absolutely nothing. I'll be quite happily go out without a jacket on. So thank you, Colin. I think, right, listen, that is it, folks. I know it's only 23 minutes, but yeah, I need to get to my bed. So I will hopefully, all going well, I will be along on Sunday night. I'll just need to play it by ear because it is going to be a long drive. Hopefully we'll be along on Sunday night. Yeah, I hope you all have a really good weekend. If you're going to go down to Zap Live and you see me, please come up and say hello. It'll be wonderful to have a chat with you. So anyway, folks, until next time, as always, thank you very much for watching. The camera's there. Take care.